is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Let's go to camp!
Yeah!
Which camp?
Camp Rock!
Camp Rock,
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Decom Descendants, your weekly dose of Disney Channel original movie nostalgia.
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 That's right. You got
It's
it.
nostalgia.
People love the nostalgia on the reviews. But
Yeah?
we got some more if you'd like to
Great.
hear
I'd
one.
love to hear one.
Yeah, man. This is the wrong thing.
Oh, I love that username.
That's very
This is
interesting.
the wrong thing. You're
You
right.
got the wrong review.
This is from Has623. Has623. 622 Hazes. We're taking.
Of what?
If you can believe it.
What do you have? 600?
Has 623.
I has it.
Loving visiting the past. I'm listening from a different perspective because I experienced these movies with my children as they watched them growing up. Have I already read this?
Oh,
I don't
that's
think so.
interesting.
It's a great blast to the past, hearing Aaron and Brand's take on the movies and hearing Dan be wrong. The High School Musical trilogy is as epic and as meaningful to cinema history as Star Wars. Please keep it up. Has 623.
That's interesting.
You can't be saying just nonsense like this.
I don't hate it. I'll be honest with you.
So leave us a rating and review. We'll read it right here.
I don't hate it one bit.
You think it's as meaningful to cinema as the Star Wars trilogy when two of them weren't even in the cinemas?
Yes.
You thought about it and you're sticking with yes.
I am sticking with yes. Today we're talking about Camp Rock.
Bet we are.
Demi Lovato.
Why did
Jonas-
you sound
Well, yeah.
like you've
You
never
don't
said
know.
her name before?
You don't hear what I'm hearing in my ears.
Yeah, there's a lot of breakup.
And I don't know what it
There's
is.
a lot
Okay.
of stickety static.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's me or you or us. But anyway, Demi Lovato, Jonas Brothers. That's, I think, Alison Stoner, of course, is in the movie.
You know what I heard about her?
Who's that?
You know Missy Misdemeanor Elliott?
I do.
She had a
I've heard
music
of her.
video called Get Your Freak On. Alison Stoner, they were in that music video.
Yep.
They were in fact in that one.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. But what I also
And then did Missy perform at a Super Bowl?
I'm sure she was in
Recently?
yes.
I know Allison came back when last time Missy performed somewhere big. I might have been a Super Bowl,
I think you're right.
but Allison came back and danced on stage with Missy.
Wow.
It
We
was-
love Allison.
And Missy Elliott was at the Katy Perry Super Bowl. So that was about a decade ago.
All right.
Time doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
That was a full decade
The
ago.
backpack.
We only
kid,
get 8 or 9 decades in our life.
Shark-
Can you believe it?
dancing shark.
Aaron's
is,
like, oh no, I gotta mow the grass.
I do need to mow the grass.
the dancing shark was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, bruh. Over 10 years ago. That was February 3rd, 2015.
I hate that.
That doesn't seem right. Check with your sources on that.
Check with your sources.
Check with your sources.
It's
on
tough to do research on when the Super Bowl halftime show was.
that. Well, Google AI is wrong sometimes.
I wasn't Google AI, but okay.
Just check your
When
sources.
did Katy Perry
Stop it, delay.
the Super Bowl?
Aaron, it's Camp Rock. We have
February 1st, 2015.
Okay.
I said 3rd, so it was actually earlier.
Worse.
So it's
No, it's
been-
better. It's better.
No,
It's further. It's been longer than.
It's been longer.
It's been longer
You
than.
thought it was less.
Oh, it's worse.
Are you drunk? You didn't even have any
Not yet.
We haven't
martini
even
yet.
had our
Not yet.
delish yet.
Aaron, it
Yeah.
is summer.
Yep.
It is camp. What do you
Yeah.
have for us today?
I have a chocolate martini,
Okay.
and then I roasted a marshmallow.
So it's like a s'mores situation.
Yeah, it's like a s'more
Like for a summer
situation.
A
camp.
s'mores team.
Yeah. And this was, I had written down when we first started this podcast, some movies I had seen and remembered, and I would jot down ideas. So chocolate martini and s'mores were on my Camp Rock idea sheet. And then Dan said, I can't drink, so like make something that Bran
right.
will enjoy, especially since last week was the cheesecake that Bran couldn't have. So
That's
I thought
fair.
I would make
Fair.
I
a
could have
beverage.
had it.
I mean, he
Yeah,
just
it's
chose not
just-
to.
That's true.
He was
But
wrong, 'cause
I
it's the
thought
best thing
I would
Aaron's
make
ever made.
something that Bran might enjoy. It is a bit on the strong side, but
It's afternoon.
It's afternoon.
Come on, guys.
How do you make it?
so this has the recipe called for vodka and Kahlua and chocolate sauce.
Yep.
And
I know well.
added milk to tone it down a little bit because just the Kahlua and vodka was a lot.
That's right. We're gonna have a day. We're gonna have a day here.
It's very good.
Remember how I said this was going to be our longest episode because you have a heart out?
Because I have a heart out. Yeah.
Here's a heart out.
Get ready.
You guys you got 3 or 4 of those each. You guys are over there like, yeah, Camp Rock.
It's the longest comm chat ever.
It's a decision. I love it. I can't wait to drink it throughout this episode. Thank you for making it.
You're welcome.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back.
And thank you to Dan's Liver.
We're going to.
I thought you said Dan's lover, and I'm like, this is a different world that you're in.
Talk about my mom like that when we were back. Come on. That's tough. Welcome back, everybody. Decom Descendants, Camp Rock today. Dan, this is your first interaction with the Camp Rock world.
You don't know that? You don't know. I could have watched it, but no, it was. It's 100%.
Your first interaction with Demi Lovato. Your first interaction with the Jonas
Brothers. Is the first
Brothers.
time you've ever seen Demi Lovato?
My first time watching her do anything.
It
I've heard
very
some
well might
songs.
be your first time you've ever seen Demi Lovato.
I just know that when I was
you've
coaching,
heard a Demi Lovato song.
I was coaching basketball. There was a kid on my team.
I'm sorry.
In
Not sorry.
2014-15, named Andrew, who loved Demi Lovato. The rest of the guys on the it was like if you said anything bad about Demi Lovato, he
like
was
had
like,
a crush on her. You mean?
yeah, like
Okay.
don't. He would literally be like, "Don't talk about my girl Demi that way." He would be very serious about it. That's my knowledge of Demi Lovato.
Okay.
And I would be like, Andrew, I don't know any of this stuff, and he would be like, "You don't know?" And he would list off songs, and I'd be like, "Nah, man." He's like, "Coach, she's the best." That would be the whole thing.
Demi is the best.
Was Demi was on Glee for a season? Didn't she have a guest?
She was on a full season of Glee?
Or not
I don't know about that.
not a full season, but it was when
I wasn't.
the original cast graduated and we followed a bunch of them to New York.
Contrary
I
to
swear Demi had a guest spot.
contrary to popular belief, I am the type of person who should love Glee, but I never got into it.
As someone who's rewatching Glee, it's
I watched the first 7 or 8 episodes of Glee because
she was.
Okay.
Jane Lynch is a national treasure, but the
Sure.
Glee gets old real fast. Real fast.
Let's talk about this movie, shall we? June 20th, 2008 is when it premiered. So summertime for all.
Big numbers here.
I was
for Camp Rock.
probably on summer break.
So probably, maybe
You guys up north are just
don't know.
so silly.
It's up in the air, but
Written
probably.
by a slew of people.
Yeah.
Karen Gist,
No one
Regina
can tell.
Hicks, Julia Brown, Paul Brown, directed by Matthew Diamond. We've already talked about who it's
Dustin's
starring.
brother.
But I don't know, actually. Now I'm interested. I don't think so. Camp Rock was the second DCOM to air on ABC's Wonderful World of Disney after its premiere on Disney Channel.
Ooh, that big of a hit.
So I guess they
Almost 9 million live viewers.
thought
for
they
this
really
bad
had
boy.
something. It also went to iTunes.
They were really trying.
iTunes digital store very soon after release. So we're kind of entering into a new era,
New era.
of DCOM. Shall we dive into the movie?
Sure.
I would love nothing more.
Mitchie wakes up and she is pumped. She's getting ready for school and she's very excited because Camp Rock is coming up. And
Which she's not going.
she's hoping that this is going to be the year
She gets to go.
that she gets to go. She goes downstairs. She's eating breakfast. The TV is on. The news breaks. Shane Gray, you know him, you love him. One of the 3 members of Connect 3.
Yes.
He is in trouble again.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, of course.
And
Do we know what he did?
I'm sure they said it. Probably
Stole some stuff.
was mean to
gambling,
somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, he probably blew off some fans
shivved
after a concert.
somebody.
Yeah. So yes, him and his brothers, they make up Connect 3, and I think we can all agree a god-awful group name, but it doesn't matter because her mom tells her.
I mean, the other option was probably the Gray Brothers, and that.
Yeah.
As somebody who wanted to start a band called the Gray Brothers.
Yeah, it would have been copyright infringement.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
We would've-
they had
you
they,
had
they
dibs.
tried.
We would have sued them.
Yeah, they
so
tried
bad.
to be the Gray Brothers as a
Right.
play on the Jonas Brothers.
There's some folks in
Brand-
Titusville, Florida that are
Brand
going to have a
sued
problem.
Nasty's
hard.
coming at you.
That's right.
They said we can't do this.
Yeah.
And someone said, I guess Connect 3.
And so Demi
I
gets to go.
challenged Joe to a basketball game for the.
And you clearly won.
I won.
Yeah.
McNasty won.
You think you could have beat Jonas in your prime?
Yes.
1-on-1? I think so too. I'd 100% think so. You,
That's honestly the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I mean, in your prime, that's when you were 13?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So Demi Lovato only gets to go to the camp because her mom's the cook. Yes, she can't afford it otherwise.
Yes, what I was about to say is her mom tells her, "Hey, there's no way we can afford Camp Rock. I'm sorry." She's really bummed about it. But then after school, great news, her mom she took the catering job, the cooking job at the camp, so she can go. Bad news is she's gonna have to work. Like Mitchie's gonna have to work while she's there. But she can go and be a part of Camp Rock, and that's all that she's ever wanted. Yes. So she's very excited.
And you at home may be wondering, isn't it a bit late in the summer to be hiring a chef for camp?
And you hired that right beforehand.
And as someone who has worked full time at a summer camp, nope, it's not. Yeah, we've done that, and we've also booked a chef who quit after the first week of camp.
The fun
and then you
thing
gotta scramble.
Camps.
So I just envisioned they had someone. That person was like, you know what? That person was probably a secret musician. They got booked for a gig, and they were like, I can't cook anymore. I'm actually gonna go live my dream. And they were like, who are we gonna get? And at that point, Mitchie's mom was like calling around, being like, anybody need it?
Did your camp have burgers that were just fresh, never frozen raw beef? They had all of the ingredients whole, it appears. The onions and the all of it. Just
my camp did a really good job at. Like, it is some of my favorite food. Like, I loved eating.
I don't believe
but
you.
it wasn't.
Some of your favorite
Brand and I
food?
are the only people removed from the cult of, no, the camp I went to had good food.
I love camp. I met my wife at camp.
Yeah. They
worked
would
at
like
camp.
change the menu every year. They would really try, like they would try really hard to get in new flavors, new dishes, keep it healthy.
Keep it healthy.
Yeah. Like, we had like fresh ingredients when we could, like,
all right.
It wasn't like they weren't getting all this ground meat and hand making the burgers, but like,
we're gonna fly up to New Hampshire.
I can't
we're
wait.
just gonna go to the,
All
we're
right.
just gonna be like, make me all the dishes. I'm gonna be like Gordon Ramsay. I'm gonna take a bite, be like, no, get it out of here. No, get it out of here.
Send it back. Send it back. Shane Gray returns to Camp Rock.
It was great.
For the first time since him and his brothers blew up. Mm-hmm. And the goal here is to kind of
rekindle what made him great to begin with.
And also like fix his public image.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going back to where I came from. I'm giving back, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you say his uncle is the...
Yeah, I'm sorry. His uncle Brown or something like that
I don't know,
is
man.
like the head of... And he's
Camp Rock.
Australian.
Okay. Yeah.
His uncle's Australian.
As Australian as he could be. Yeah.
Australian uncle. So he gets there. He's immediately like hiding from other campers who are like see him and scream.
And it's not weird at all. The cabin they put him in is like 360 windows.
Yeah. And after
doesn't help.
It's not weird at all.
After this first day, no one really actually cares that he's there.
No,
Like,
They care so little.
Yeah.
That he
Can you
is.
imagine the
They
Jonas
like
Brothers
care,
being at your
and then
camp?
I think he teaches one class, and they're like,
He's
you
like
know what?
one of us.
He's not great.
Or yeah, actually, that's what it is. He sucks. He's not good.
But yeah, his bed is in just like this room that is just surrounded by windows, and it's weird. It's weird.
Surely no one's gonna look at him in there.
No
There's
way.
not a point later in the movie where
No
girls
way.
just walk
Nobody
by while
are
he's
just
sleeping.
like, sure, yeah, no,
So
It's all above board, and that's what you need to know.
above board. He
Dan wasn't above board, but Brandon and I
wasn't
above board.
Thank you, Dan.
It's all above board. It's all windows. What could go wrong? Nothing.
So he's hiding, and in hiding, he overhears Mitchie singing. Mitchie is at the piano that's in the cafeteria.
Obviously,
It's Camp Rock.
I think there's instruments hidden all over the grounds for whenever that inspiration hits you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like singing a song that she's working on. This is a real. This is me. I'm
it
exactly
sounds-
where I'm supposed to be.
Brand sounds better than what she
Gonna
sounds
let
like
the
in that
light
moment.
Shine on
Not
me.
anymore, but he did sound better.
Shine
You got it.
on me.
Not an exaggeration. He sounded better for most of that than Demi sounds.
Don't talk about my girl Demi like that. So he's captivated by her voice. He decides, I need to go in there and introduce myself to her. But by the time he gets in there, she's gone. She's vanished.
Oh.
She only had a quick 30-second break.
This is real, gotta go.
Now, Demi is the only assistant to the chef.
There are
And-
times when I saw like 1 to 2 other people in the kitchen.
Background actors.
But
yeah.
it looks like
Yes.
at most there's 2 people in the kitchen, and then a third person joins, and it's Mitchie.
Before every meal she has to inconspicuously disappear from the Camp Rock to go and make the Camp Rock food.
What you need to know about camp in general, kitchen shifts, you show up 20 minutes before that meal is supposed to be served.
Most every meal for 80 people takes 20 minutes. And I've said that for years.
Easy peasy.
Like these 2 martinis, it took you 8 seconds, right? That was it. It was a total of 8 seconds. You could have made 100 of those easy in 20 minutes.
Oh, if I needed to make more than 2, give me like maybe 9 seconds.
Yeah, it's done.
For
easy.
sure.
So
when I worked in a camp kitchen, I didn't have to report there at 5 in the morning.
She is going to somehow do all the camp activities and then be like, and then show up in the kitchen. And instead of just being honest with people to say, because there's a status, she, instead of just going, hey, I have to do the cooking, it's the only reason I'm here, she makes up a whole thing.
Well, yeah, and she really paints herself into a picture.
A corner of a picture. Imagine a picture, and then the corner of it is Mitchie. And
she's like, hi.
Nowhere
because
for her to go.
The it girl of camp notices Mitchie, and
That's
it's like,
right.
you're new.
At opening jam.
You should bunk with us.
Guys, there's opening jam.
Opening jam.
There's
And it's
beach
not the pajama jam.
there's
It's not the
pajama
beach jam.
and there's
It's not the
final
final jam.
It's opening jam.
It's opening jam. And you
Tess,
need to know.
Tess Tyler, whose mom is a big deal. She's won a
Bunch of
Grammy
Grammys.
before. She is there and clearly is like running the show.
Everyone
And-
wants to be friends with her
Yes.
or impress her.
And Mitchie decides, instead of telling her the truth, I'm going to lie and say that my mom is the president of this like music channel thing.
That's right.
Hot
Tess-
Tunes China.
Hot Tunes China.
Classic.
Maybe
Hey, you
you've heard of
remember Dom Lau, Brian? You remember Dom Lau? We went on the top,
Yes, I remember Dom Lau.
the pop.
I was like,
it
why do I
Pop
know
40?
that name? Pop 40, yeah.
We went on the Pop 40 syndicated radio show in all of Southeast Asia with Dom Lau.
I don't want to give any other information.
No other information, but we were asked to come on a syndicated Southeast Asian radio station with
We're big in Southeast
celeb
Asia.
DJ Dom Lau.
We're big in
and that
Southeast
was almost 10 years ago as well.
Yeah,
I mean, we do have some listeners. I think we have at least one listener in Korea.
at least one.
Well, we got people now all over Southeast Asia.
That's
that
right.
heard
They
of Dom
love
Lau,
us.
so.
They
Cool,
love
awesome.
us.
That was pre-Deck the Hallmark.
Yeah, they're still waiting for us to do that thing again. But
yeah.
anyway, so Mitchie lies.
I can
and
hook you up with the president of Hot Tunes China. If
Thank
you,
God.
if you would just
Thank
like to
goodness.
get
Don't
into the
lie. Have you learned nothing? Tess invites Mitchie to join her group, and Mitchie's only other friend that she'd kind of made, Caitlin, is like, "Hey, don't do that. Tess is bad news." Mitchie's just like, "What are you talking? Like, she's
Can
she's
Caitlin
so
play
cool.
the keyboard behind your back?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Not there.
All right.
Not yet.
Can she, though? I'm
Just
just
hold your-
asking. I'm
we'll
just
find
asking.
out. Well, maybe we'll find out if we're
Okay.
lucky.
All right.
It does feel like you're being snarky about Allison Stoner. I don't appreciate it.
The Allison Stoner?
Yeah, the Allison Stoner. From like Super Short Show.
From Step Up.
From
Shane.
Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On?
Shane Gray
From at
is,
least one Eminem music video.
That's right.
Wow.
Shane Gray. Listen, Allison Stoner.
they were doing it.
And the funny part is like, because I was at that like cusp age where I was still watching Disney Channel, but I was also in my late teens, so I was watching MTV.
Oh, Just Lose It is the one
Yeah,
video.
I
Wow.
remember like seeing seeing them on Mike's Super Short Show and being like, did I see them?
Yeah.
And it was weird for me to be like, they can be on Disney Channel and cool.
Yeah.
Is Mike's kid sister who interviews the Disney Channel stars also in the music video? For Mike's Super Show, a very real show?
Real siblings.
You guys
Real
are-
siblings in real life?
You guys are so cool.
Guys, I thought Mike and what was
Sally.
Mike and Sal
I thought they were
real.
siblings. I thought it was
they
a
were
real-
siblings who hosted a real little show in there.
Well, like Demi Lovato just lying to people. You
Yeah.
know?
So
Shane is committed to finding the
Yep.
voice inside his head, the reason why he's singing, and he's like, I
Gotta
gotta
find
find you. And that inspires him to work on a new song, a song I just told you some lyrics of. And it's something that's different from what Connect 3 typically does.
Yeah.
Mitchie overhears him playing and tells him that it's good. At first, he's like, don't even right now with me.
Joe
But
Jonas just going for the Emmy.
God. But then
his scarves are doing most of the work.
Yeah.
they are doing 99 the scarf game
Lion share. Yeah.
and he thinks that she's giving him a hard time, but then realizes, oh, you're actually being honest. That actually means a lot to me, basically. Maybe we should hang out soon. But she's like, I gotta go. Where? Obviously the kitchen, but she can't say that.
say that.
Caitlin and Tess get in a food fight, and Caitlin is put on kitchen duty for the rest of summer.
Even though it wasn't her fault. It wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
Her fault in the movie. It
Tess
wasn't
says,
Caitlin's fault. Yes.
well, Caitlin started it, and Caitlin says, no, I didn't. And then, the uncle there looks at Mitchie like, well, who's telling the truth?
Who's telling the truth?
And she doesn't want to upset Tess, so she doesn't say anything. And so then Caitlin gets in trouble.
You're on kitchen
Because I guess we just believe Tess.
Bullies. Yeah.
Go start the Bobby.
Yeah, that's
So
really good.
she'll be on kitchen duty.
Yep.
And
And
obviously
that won't be trouble for Mitchie at
yes.
all.
No.
Mitchie hears this, is not thrilled because not even Caitlin knows about the whole kitchen situation. I'm sure she's going to figure out a way to handle this, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
The next day, she finds Shane again. He plays her the song that he's been working on. She loves it, but she's got to get
And
to
they
the
kiss?
kitchen. No,
Oh.
they got to get to the kitchen. Despite sitting closer than any two people ever,
Yep.
they don't kiss. And gets into the kitchen, sees Caitlin, tries to hide her face by lifting up the chips in front of her face.
She
Ends up
somehow thinks she can make it through the rest of the shift just holding a
the
bag
rest
of
of the
chips.
summer even.
There's no
she
game
doesn't
plan
make it
here.
another 2
None.
seconds. She slips, she falls, chips goes everywhere. She falls down. Caitlin is shocked
And laughs.
and then gives her a hard time for lying about who she is. And at first, Mitchie does not handle that well. It is basically like, you don't get it. You don't get it, man.
Yeah, I just want everyone to like me.
Yeah. And Caitlin's like, Tess was my friend, and I know what it's like. She's going to, you're not going to have fun being her friend, basically. So just it's better to just be yourself.
Yeah. Good
So
advice.
The next night, Caitlin is performing her hit song.
After
A
the Jamma
little
Jam?
behind the back.
Yeah, a little this, a little that, and everyone is digging it, which Tess
It
can't
is
stand.
Yeah.
Wild.
It
It is
is-
wild.
It's a wild time.
I am honest when I say this. It is a new sound I've never heard before. Your kids are going to love it.
We are
Like-
over 45 minutes into this film at this point, and there have
Nothing
been
has happened.
so many musical interludes, and this guy hasn't mentioned a one, and I want to be very clear. And he's not right. He's not wrong. He's not wrong to do so. But remember the bit we did with High School Musical? It's like, how do we know that? They sing about it. He hasn't done it once.
Well, I did. This is real. I sang
See,
Demi's song
You
and
sang
Shane
Demi's
Grace.
song. That's it.
This doesn't have any words.
Okay.
Her song doesn't have
I'm
any
talking about all the stuff I'm talking about, right?
words. I've mentioned the two songs.
But you've not. This movie's peppered with 10 seconds of I'm going to dance here, I'm going to beatbox here, I'm going to rap here, I'm going to sing here.
Yeah, everyone's just walking around doing their thing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
It did make me laugh. You guys weren't huge Friends watchers, right?
I like Friends fine.
I know Friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen when Ross talks about his sound and it's him on a
Yeah.
keyboard?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's Ross Geller. They introduced her as Caitlin Geller, and
Yeah.
it made me laugh.
That's funny. So that was
It
just
is
after
that.
Friends ended too. I mean, like Friends ended 5 years before the movie.
And so
It really is like it is truly something I've never heard or seen before.
Ross's son Ben, star of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So it's all
You
connected.
know, it's all coming full circle.
How about that?
So-
Connector of lives. This movie.
I mean, Ross does have a child, Emma, but maybe Emma changed their name to Caitlin. But anyway, it just made me laugh because the keyboarding reminded me so much of that scene with Ross.
it is truly unlike anything I've ever seen before.
It's
perfect.
And Tess, for some reason, gets
Jealous.
So
so
jealous.
yeah.
And just goes, snake, which obviously
Mm-hmm.
freaks everyone out. Caitlin has to stop the song, calls
Yeah.
her out, and Mitchie begins to realize that Tess might actually be the worst.
Yeah. Tess
And-
also made Mitchie and the other two girls whose names I don't know.
They're important.
Peggy and
Peggy and
Peggy.
Gabriella.
Yeah,
Sure.
Gabriella. Yes.
But she's like, wear green sweatshirt and white shorts. We're gonna match our pajamas. And I'm like, hopefully Mitchie packed a green sweatshirt. Like, this is very specific last minute wardrobe. And not only does she pack a green sweatshirt, she packed the same exact outfit.
Perfect.
Like, they all match, perfectly. And obviously Tess shows up in her lead singer outfit, which is not a green sweatshirt and shorts. But as someone who has had to pack for camp, it's one sweatshirt and that thing is lasting you for the week. We're not bringing 18 outfit changes.
Yes, but
Or scrapbooks. We're not bringing any
everybody
of it.
everybody has everything they need at their disposal. Shane decides that he's gonna put out a search for The Voice. He does this by telling one kid who tells the rest of the kids.
Oh, wait,
and
it
spreads.
spreads so
Yeah.
quickly.
Of course, it's camp.
And that's when he's sleeping in
Shane
his...
could have just been like, "I'm looking for the girl with the voice," but he decided to go this
Yeah.
route, which is fun.
And then people are just walking by while he's sleeping in bed because it's all screened
Yeah, it's
windows.
above board, but
They're
also-
just walking by singing whatever song they're singing.
And Mitchie at this point
And they're
in
allowed
time,
to do that because there's 2 adults at this entire camp.
yeah.
Just want to be very clear.
There's 3.
Yeah.
My
There's
bad.
3 adults. Mitchie's mom is there.
Mitchie's mom is there.
Yes,
Technically,
and,
she is in the kitchen.
Are
but
there counselors in the cabins?
No.
No.
it's a free
Which
for all.
blows my mind.
It's a free for all.
I just read a book and it's the same situation where like the cabins don't have counselors, and
That's crazy.
I just don't know.
And the kids just like go to sleep. That's nuts.
All right.
Well, it's a thriller and like girls go missing, so I'm like,
Sure.
I think for the
Okay.
premise there had to be no counselors, but
Fair enough.
I was like, well, if there was counselors in the cabin, maybe they wouldn't go missing.
Those freshmen and college counselors would have put it into
That's
those
right.
killers.
They would have the
They would have
security of
stepped
those
in and they would have.
19-year-olds will
Yeah.
show them who the
The Last
boss
Time
is.
I Lied by Riley Sager. It's a great summer read.
All right,
Okay.
there you go. Camp Rock. Mitchie.
The lead character is very much a Tess Tyler.
at this point in time, Mitchie doesn't know that Shane is who is looking for her. Like,
Right.
because she's only sung one time. What are the odds that? So she's like, I'm not even going to bother singing.
Well,
Obviously, it's not
She
me.
sang the song in the cafeteria, but then she also belts it out in class. And I would say when she's at the piano singing like softly, I think she sounds fine there.
Yes.
When she's singing in front of the class and she
When
sings and he's like, you have to sing louder, and she just belts it
It
out.
is unbearable.
It is rough. It's Demi has a really good voice, and it is a rough scene. But yeah, she just gets over her fear like that.
There you go.
Sings. So
I
at
think
that
the problem
point-
with that scene is it's so evidently bad singing. She's just going too hard, and everyone in the class is acting like she
This
just
is amazing.
crushed it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shane and Mitchie once again.
There's a Hilary Duff movie called Raise Your Voice, where she
Yes.
goes
I've
to like
heard of
a music
Raise your-
camp.
yeah.
Isn't
And
that a
she-
theatrical movie? That's like a
It
movie
was.
movie, right?
Was it? I don't know. I own it on DVD if you ever want to borrow it.
Oh, thank God.
Which I didn't buy. It was gifted to me.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's
As
a
if we would
scene.
judge you for that.
Yeah. Of all the things you own,
That's the time you decide to preface
of all
it.
the things you own, you're like, well, I didn't buy this
I
one.
didn't buy this one. Well, because there's 2.
All
There's
right.
also one with the lead from Color of Friendship
Mhm.
and Lindsay Hahn.
Mhm.
And it's the same exact premise, and I prefer the Lindsay Hahn one. Sorry, Hillary.
Oh.
Anyway,
What the
there's a scene. There's a scene where Hillary has to sing, and it's just like the same thing where she gets called on. She doesn't want to do it. The teacher's like, "You just got to go for it," and so she does, and it's the similar reaction where you're like, "Did we have to?"
Wish you didn't. Wish you didn't. So
I
Shane,
liked believing you were amazing.
amazing. Shane and Mitchie end up hanging out again. They go out on a canoe. Tess sees this, gets jealous.
10 out of 10 canoe skills for them.
Great
the
canoes.
canoe. Oh my God.
Well, it's just like if we both paddle in
the
different, and
opposite-
then we'll just go around in a circle.
we'll just stay still.
We'll
It's
face each
it
other
is-
and we'll both paddle on the right side.
It is such a clown show. I just can't even tell you. It is something.
It's cute.
It is cute.
adorable.
So Tess decides, you know what? I'm going to get her. I'm going to figure this out. Follows her, learns
And kills her.
and kills her. Learns her secrets about working at the kitchen.
Yep.
So after Connect 3 show up at the beach jam and play a new song, which is a bop, Tess yells out in front of everybody, "I have news!
Hey ye.
Come
The
hither!"
town square rings a bell first.
Mitchie works
In the kitchen.
Shane
with her poor mom.
Yeah, they're pores.
Yeah.
Shane.
Is immediately angry.
Yes, because
You're poor?
I'm dating a poor?
Shane
What?
Shane believes.
I thought you were a Fiji water. Turns out you're poor water.
Yeah.
Is that your deer park?
Shout out Deer Park.
Ugh.
I was at Food Lion today. Rough.
Yeah.
So Shane hears this and believes that Mitchie has been lying to him about who she is just because he's famous, which is something they had talked about.
Yeah.
Like people.
He likes that she's real.
Yeah, people only talk to me because I'm famous. I never know who to trust. Turns out can't trust you.
Tough spot.
And it's like I'm done basically being your friend. And Mitchie becomes a bit of a parasite at camp. Everybody doesn't want to be
Hates her.
around her, laughs at her.
Pariah? A pariah?
Does parasite work?
Parasite's when you leech off of other people.
Yeah,
No.
Parasite doesn't quite
Parasite doesn't work at all.
All right, I'm done.
A pariah is an outcast. That's what you were talking about.
I don't
pariah.
want to do this anymore.
A parasite would be she's there with them all the time and getting something from them.
I don't even want to be here anymore. There's too much stuff on me. When Tess,
Yeah, everyone at camp takes it personal.
Yes.
Even though I think
It doesn't affect anybody.
99% of camp has never spoken to Mitchie.
That's
No,
the
they don't know who she is.
thing.
They're busy dancing with their clean shoes.
But Tess isn't done yet.
No.
Because Tess
It's not enough.
overhears
It's not enough.
Shane singing the song that he heard that one time. He memorized
Yeah,
it
he
in
did.
that
Yeah.
moment.
Of course.
And he's like singing it for his brothers. Like, I need
to find this girl.
amazing voice, blah, blah, blah. And Tess obviously remembers it as well. Very memorable hook. I don't know what to tell you.
Michelle Branch writes good songs.
She writes good songs. Finds Mitchie's songs journal and is like, yep, there they are right here.
But then we never like see a scene where she tries to pass that song off on her own.
No,
No, she doesn't.
So we
she
see
just
this
hides
whole
the
like,
locket or the bracelet or whatever in the
but
kitchen.
we have this whole diabolical plan where she like learns the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's gonna. If there was more time in the movie, there was probably a plot line where she tries to get Shane to believe it's her.
That's right.
Obviously, it's not. So she has to pivot.
It's like a scene
Pivot.
from a different movie.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And
I'm
we're
sure.
back to Friends.
Yes, we're
Great.
back to Friends. I'm sure she tried. Obviously, her voice isn't the same as this is real.
Oh.
And so, so Tess decides, you know what? I got something else up my sleeve. I'm
Listen.
going to frame you for stealing my bracelet so that you won't get to perform that song at Final Jam. And it works perfectly. Somehow, Tess hid her bracelet in between two books in the kitchen, invited Doc Brown in there to look
Yeah,
at
which,
it. And
you know, if I'm stealing something, that is where I'm hiding
Yeah.
it, in my workplace between
For
two
sure.
books.
Where it's
Right.
dangling out there so people can see it.
dangling
Yeah.
ones. Dangling ones.
How dangling ones. So fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great. And again,
Kevin.
even though they both say they didn't do it, even though the mom says they didn't do it, they were here in the kitchen.
It's not
The
enough.
leader is like,
No.
listen, whatever Tess says is fact.
And Unk's going to lay the law down because this
Dan,
consequence.
how would you handle that situation as a principal? If somebody says,
That's
hey,
not enough evidence to prove anything. First of all,
finding the bracelet
in the kitchen.
So let's say, let's take it to the school. Like, what if it was in someone's locker?
If it was in someone's locker,
Yeah.
you would probably have to you'd either have to do something about it or you would have to get a story from them and see if you could get anybody to corroborate it. If it's in the kitchen, that's nothing. That's an absolute
anybody
nothing.
could have walked in there.
At any time.
Um,
Especially if a lot of your job as a principal in discipline is knowing the kids, like not prejudging the kids, but like knowing.
Prejudging them a little bit.
No, I
That's a
think
little bit of prejudging.
I don't think so.
We should be able to judge them a little bit.
well, I mean,
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Brent, you have a little bit of school experience as a teacher, and then Dan, you've got a little bit more.
Little bit. Yeah.
There are like the reputation that kids have amongst each other, but like the teachers can see. Like Tess, this is not her first summer at camp. Like he has to know that she's kind of a brat.
If you think that teachers don't sit around during in-service week and talk about the
Right.
bad kids,
Yeah.
even the Christian school teachers who say they pray for everyone by name, they all do it. They all do it. And what I would tell kids when I was
Like
principal
he
is
knows
like,
that she's
it's like when you do really dumb stuff that everyone knows and you admit to, you're painting a picture of yourself that can't be unseen. And so, like, why would Mitchie, who is everything's going well for her, what would she have to gain by stealing a bracelet? Does she have any history of stealing anything? No. Why would she put it in the kitchen? She wouldn't. Tess, on the other hand,
why would she take it?
has a long history of being jealous of everyone else. Dress the way I tell you to. I'm mad that someone's good at a weird piano thing. No one would buy that, but Unk
I
buys
think
it.
the weird thing
Immediately.
about
Immediately.
As
in
soon as
all
he
of
sees
these,
it, it's done.
in all of these teen movies, like the jealousy, the bully, all that stuff is not like frowned upon. It is the norm. So if the jealousy of Tess is seen as the norm, then she's popular. Even as an adult, this guy goes in there and is like, yep, she says it. She's popular. It must be true.
I bought it because her mom is famous. And
Yeah.
so this guy knows how his bread is buttered, so to speak. He knows that she's the wealthiest, most influential camp. And that's the worst part. That's how I was not a principal. But there are people that work in schools that, especially private schools, that know who's writing checks. And those people get away with murder.
Yes.
It happens all the time.
But
So that's why I bought that.
Sometimes literally murder.
Yeah, I mean, literally murder. I experienced not that, but some kids before I was principal get away with stuff that is so
There is for
ungodly.
sure some private school in this country where a child has murdered somebody, and they were like, "Well,
I know of a case.
Your last name's on
that-
the building. So.
I know of a case of. I'm going to say that off the air. How about
Okay.
you ask me off the air and I'll tell you.
We'll share some stories off the air.
Even though
It was me. I did the murdering.
it was Aaron murdering people.
Even though
were like,
there are
you
so
bought
many-
that Hillary Duff DVD yourself. She's like, no, I didn't. She killed
I
him.
will
She's
own
a
up to a
liar.
lot of things. And I can tell you exactly where this DVD came from. My friend bought it at a thrift store, was like, I love this movie. We went home and watched it. We were both so disappointed in it that she left. And
left
I
it
said,
there.
are you bringing your DVD? And she said, nah, man.
it's all yours. It's all yours.
So now the punishment's pretty severe. here,
Yeah,
Brandon.
not allowed to perform.
Okay. Until the end.
until the end
of Final Jam.
of Final Jam.
The end.
One of
of
the
Final
dumbest
Jam.
things.
Yeah.
The end. Are
The
you hearing me, Dan?
end.
The end of Final Jam.
Oh, we got it. We got it.
the end of
The
Final
end of
Jam.
Final Jam.
In the Final Jam.
Not until the end. Did you hear me, Mitchie?
Mitchie,
The
Mitchie,
end of it.
Final
Mitchie, lock in
Jam.
here. End of
End
Final
of it.
Jam.
It's gonna come to an end.
And you can't participate in any camp activities until that point.
End of it. And we all know the end of it is when the judges go off
leave this
before
Go to the back of the room.
Well,
before
yeah,
they announce winner.
He comes out on stage and he's just like,
How is the
it's
end
the
of
end
something?
of Final Jam.
How is
They're
something-
going to go off in private.
How is something over when the winner hasn't been announced yet?
It's the end of it.
No, it isn't.
It's the end of it.
Let's get to Final Jam, shall we?
Final Jam is here, everybody, and Tess's backup singers are
Sick of her.
Sick of Tess.
Can we swear on this podcast?
Sick of her shit. Yeah, we
sick of her
can.
shit.
Come on.
And so Tess decides, first, one of the girls goes and she already, I guess, has been planning this for a while.
Yeah.
Sings a song
Gabriella
with another group.
apparently is already in a different group.
What is it? Hasta la Vista?
Oh, it is Hasta La Vista.
And it's
Catchiest song of the whole thing.
It is probably my favorite one. Except for when I'm trying to belt something out in the car and then it's going to be that duet at the end.
Yeah.
But
You're the voice here inside my head. The reason that I'm singing. Tess goes.
But yeah.
Dashboard confessional.
H-A-S-T-A. La Vista. It's a bop.
Tess goes on stage and is getting ready to sing her song, which sucks. Her mom is there, which excites her because her mom's finally
like,
going to
yeah.
support her. But
Her
then
mom's
her
gonna
mom,
pay attention to her.
her mom takes a call
During the song.
During the song,
And that's the last straw for Tess. She's been a grade A, B the whole movie, and she's like, if mom can't watch me sing, I better be nice to people.
She's just billed as Ella, not Gabriella. So,
okay.
Sorry.
I was glad I got it right. I think they do say Gabriella.
Okay, so maybe Ella's short because they call her, the other one's Peggy and she goes by
And
Margaret.
Peggy.
But-
We're Tessa
yeah.
sisters. And so
Gabriella.
it throws her off. And so she runs off stage. She's crying. Gabriella comes up. She sings her song. It's fine. And that's it. It's the end, of Final Jam. Connect 3 goes to the back of the room to judge.
As you do in private.
Mitchie shows up and is like, you said the end of Final Jam. It's the end of Final Jam.
And he's like,
Can
I'm
I
glad
sing
you
it,
caught
please?
that.
I'm glad you caught my keyword there.
When I said it 8 times.
Yes, you can sing. It's obviously you can't win, but you can sing. So she sings
She goes to
her
sing
song.
it.
This is a real. Shane hears that and is like, "You're the voice here." They combine their songs into one song.
Explosion.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
Not eligible. Not eligible.
No,
Not
the
eligible.
Final Jam's over. They've not announced the winner, but it's over.
Yeah.
Want to be clear.
And the judges, it's shocking that he heard her because Uncle said, hey, it's the end of Final Jam. The judges are going to go off in private.
Yeah, and
And by private, he meant
Back
just
of
the
the
back of the room.
instead of in front of everybody, they're just behind everybody, but
Yeah.
also equally as close to the people as they were in front. And
Like somebody in that back row heard the winner before they announced it.
so Mitchie and Shane, they're singing together. They're holding hands
They're
weird.
even closer than they were before.
That's right.
They're doing a weird handhold like
Are they gonna
this.
are they gonna kiss?
And then they hold like this.
Are they gonna kiss?
No, they're just going to interlock fingers.
We'll save that for Camp Rock 2. And so
Camp Rock 2, the Final Jam.
It's called the Final Jam.
at the end of Final Jam,
What did we do this first movie?
was different.
It wasn't the
So
penultimate jam.
Gabriella or Ella wins Final Jam,
Yay.
and they all
So
celebrate.
confused what you're doing.
Tess apologizes to her friends and was like, "What does Tess say to Ella? You're really good. It's your favorite
You
part
were
of
really
it.
good, and when someone's that good, someone should tell them they're that good.
How many times can I say someone in good at a sentence? Someone
You
good
were
told
really
me that
good.
someone good should say something to
And when
someone who's
someone's that
good.
good,
And when
someone
someone's
should
that
tell
good,
them
someone should
they're
tell them
that
that
good.
good.
Especially
And I'm
at
that
the end
someone.
of Final Jam.
Mighty.
And so then
Hey, Bran.
they end the movie by singing
Bran.
Camp Rock. Yep.
You're really good at synopsis.
I
you.
think
And I
you're
just
okay.
think that when you're really good at something, somebody should tell you you're really good at
Thank
it.
you.
And I'm really proud of you.
And then they sing Camp Rock.
We rock.
We rock.
Rock. We rock.
And
And do
then
you
they
wanna? Do you wanna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
We rock. We rock. We rock on. Nailed it.
We'll be back. That sucked.
You look like your range of motion was so limited.
That whole thing
You look like you were at pizza. You were at physical therapy. You're like, this is all I've got.
We'll be right back. Freaking stupid.
Oh, we got a long way to go.
That was
We're gonna
Brand
start
making
with-
up
yeah.
for not joining us in our Cheetah Girl dance
That's
bit.
exactly right. Yeah.
I was
Guys,
saving up for this.
Dan and I,
This guy, I think
Dan
he
of
went
all
from
people,
3 o'clock to 6 o'clock in a guitar thing.
I tried to do a Cheetah Girls bit, and Dan joined in
Oh,
with
of
me
course
on
I
the
did.
dance bit.
Yeah.
And Brand just couldn't even bother looking up from his phone.
No, he was just sending
Of
texts.
the two co-hosts,
time-
didn't see it coming that
big
it was going to
time
be
business
Dan.
boy.
And Dan,
I'm here.
it was a good
for
time.
a bit. You know
take
what
us
I mean?
to thetape.com.
Yeah.
Take the tape.com.
Exactly right.
There's
welcome
just
back.
too many words in there.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Camp Rock today. I've got some Letterboxd reviews if you want it. This is from Silent Dawn, who says 3.5 stars. Basically, just as stressful as Uncut Gems, but with more musical numbers. Molly says 3 stars. Tessa's shoulder dance put the camp in Camp Rock. Jay says 2 stars. Broke, Gaga and Cooper. Woke, Lovato, and Jonas.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Natalie says, why didn't Tess think of singing This Is Me and completely trick everybody at Final Jam? We talked about it.
Could have so many things. That, like,
They ran out of time.
It
They
would
ran out of
look
time.
like they were going towards something, and they were
Yeah.
going towards nothing.
Michelle says 2 stars. Tess Tyler wants what Sharpay Heavens has.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could buy that.
Kakai says 2 stars. What the F was Joe Jonas's hair?
Oh, that was a thing for so long. Him, Bieber, Zac Efron, like, guys, get a haircut.
And then Heather
Dude, I heard somebody talking about how Zac Efron lied. Have you heard this?
No, but what?
I was listening to
I mean,
a
I
podcast.
assume he's told
What
a
about
lie.
and they went
This
on a
time.
tangent where, he said he got injured, and the reason his face changed was he got jaw surgery.
Yeah, we've all
And
heard that story.
basically, I heard on a podcast, I'm not going to say it because I don't want people to like run to it or anything, that like, yeah, a lot of people think he lied about that and he just got jaw fillers and then realized his face wasn't matching. And so you can go online and there are like professional plastic surgeons who are like, the chances of this being from a fall is under 1%, probably 0%. Like, it is this
My
wild.
understanding, though, was that he had a fall and had to get plastic surgery.
That's what I thought happened.
So the problem with that is that the way that plastic surgery would work would never ever do what his face did.
he couldn't get it fixed and then have plastic surgery.
So I heard it and I was like, what? And I watched one like actual professional who was like, if you had to have plastic surgery for a fall in these jawbones, it would be asymmetrical. Almost always, if not always. What he has done is jaw fillers, which is different than repairing a jaw wired shut. And then he goes on to go, and then the rest of his face matches his jawline, which if you had plastic surgery for a wired shut jaw, and he used like Kanye West, who had these big cheeks and the rest of his body wasn't, it wouldn't extend up here. It is a fascinating conversation that may be complete nonsense, but I heard it on a podcast and it was my next 45 minutes. This was weeks ago and I forgot to tell anybody.
Man, that's really good.
No, I still
Thanks
I believe
for
Zac
sharing
Efron.
this.
Fascinating conversation. It doesn't matter. Who cares? The guy's in charge of his own body.
I
But
mean,
it's
I just
hilarious
believe, like-
if he's just like lying because he got jaw fillers and then he kept going to match his jaw fillers and then he got out of hand and he was like, I fell. That's funny. That's
I believe it could have started with a fall and then just got out of hand.
Okay.
That's just
As
what I.
as many lies do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather says 2.5 stars. Tess really thought she
Like
did
that.
something exposing Mitchie's mom like that. Okay, she's the cook, and your mother doesn't even love you. Tess, back the F up.
Got him.
Daisy said,
Her like exposing the mom as the cook
yeah.
is only like a good move if the food sucks.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
it's like, oh, your mom's the one that's been poisoning us.
Your
all
mom's
summer?
your mom's been making fresh, never frozen meals for us. Oh, sick
The
burn.
nacho bar sucks. Daisy says Hasta La Vista was robbed. I'm
Mom's-
telling you,
your
snubbed by the
mom
Jonas
put
Brothers.
out tablecloths and set our tables for every meal all
right.
summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Loser.
What was that
and
last one? I'm so sorry.
Hasta La Vista was robbed. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, snubbed by the Jonas Brothers. And then
Oh,
Emma,
yeah.
Emma says 2.5 stars. When I was younger, I was convinced that I was going to marry Joe Jonas because one time I read that he liked marshmallow Peeps, and I thought our shared love of Peeps would be the thing that brought us together.
Oh.
I don't know. That's a review of this movie, but I appreciate Emma
Yeah.
for being vulnerable in her review.
Here's a spoiler.
Not as forward as the Nicholas Braun stance.
Yeah. No. Spoiler, in the second movie, you're going to learn a lot about things that Nick Jonas likes.
Okay, cool. So cool.
So we know that Joe Jonas likes Peeps, and then there's just going to be a lot of things that Nick likes that we're going
Great.
to hear about.
Let's get to our thoughts on this movie. Aaron, I think it's clear.
Is
this
it?
is a movie that has stuck with us.
Yeah.
But should it have? That is what we're
Yeah.
here to figure out. What are your thoughts on Camp Rock?
This is a movie that I own the physical DVD.
And you didn't nobody gave this to you. You bought this and you were proud of it.
I bought it in 2008 when Blockbuster went out of business.
Yeah. That was a good those times were good.
Right? You go in there, you just
go
go
in there
back
and
every
it's like
week, and it just keeps getting
$5. Like it just
and
kept
then it
lower
just
and
kept
lower.
getting lower and lower. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah. There was a Blockbuster near my college. I would just stop in every week until they were gone. So this was a $5 deal for me. I said, duh. Yeah, I loved this movie, and I don't watch it a whole lot, but I do listen to the soundtrack a whole lot. And in rewatching it, I kind of understand why I don't watch it. The soundtrack I love. It's a weird, like we talked about this, where it's not a musical. They are performing. It's, right? There's not anyone's.
No.
There's never a full number where everyone is invested and involved. There's always someone watching the singing.
Or
Yes,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not like Gabriella singing about her feelings by herself.
No.
Like there's none of
No.
that.
Thank God.
I can't remember, and this is just not part of this podcast, but there might be one like that in the second one. I can't remember, but this one it's just not a musical. So it's like the numbers are just like, we're performing. This is what we do all summer. And so I liked that vibe of it. I just love a movie soundtrack of any sort. So I love this movie. It's in ranking it is not as high. When we started this podcast, I probably would have told you this would have been like really high on my list. It's not going to be as high on my list. But this movie is just, when you're thinking of DCOMs, this is one of the classic ones you think of. It's, it's the starting vehicle for the Jonas Brothers, for Demi Lovato. Yeah, I mean, it launched a lot of careers, and it was an important part of DCOM history, but there's a lot of questions in the plot. There's a lot of, I don't know, maybe even if they don't say anything, maybe just throw a couple adult extras in the background there.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just whatever. Would I go to Camp Rock? I wouldn't. Singing, a cappella in front of a room of people, my nightmare. I don't want to do it.
This is real.
For that, I will gladly take Mitchie's kitchen shift. I will be in there the whole time and not just show up 5 minutes beforehand.
Handling the meat,
yeah.
making your burgers.
Yep. We didn't even talk about that scene where Mitchie's
We
hand
didn't.
making the burgers.
Just a whole
And
like
I really
just
needed-
A
mountain
mountain
of ground
like
beef.
the mashed potatoes in Close
I
Encounters.
really
Just like
needed
this.
Dan to lie to me and tell me he thought that was a mountain of mashed potatoes, like painted, like dyed red.
No.
And he was like, I think it might be ground beef. And then I think
You're
I
looking for the
barfed on
wrong
camera.
person to lie to you.
I barfed on camera where I was like, she's just out here manhandling
Whoop.
meat that's been sitting out under hot cameras. I like to believe it was mashed potatoes. But anyway, it's a great movie. I mean, it will always stay in like one of my favorite DCOMs, but qualitative wise, it's not up there.
Yeah.
But Hasta La Vista was snubbed.
I do, yes, I do agree with Aaron. This movie, I think about it a lot. I think about
That
it
sounded
a lot.
so dirty.
I think about this movie a lot.
Like
Songs, bops.
Oh, that was so close to a
The
spit take.
actors,
I think about it.
the acting.
I just think about this movie.
Joe Jonas is giving.
I've only heard that tone when he talks about your mom.
Joe Jonas is giving one of the worst performances in DCOM history.
Yeah.
And I say that as I am a big Jonas Brothers fan. Love
Joe
the Jonas
Bros.
Brothers.
Shout out to the Jonas Brothers.
I was
Circa 2023 is what I
really
liked.
bad, really bad. And every time Kevin spoke, I wanted to punch him in the head. Like just really tough stuff by Kev Bo over there.
Yeah,
and,
he made a choice in his acting for that, and maybe it paid off for somebody.
Yeah. And Mitchie's not very likable for a lot of this movie. And I mean, Allison Stoner was the best then and the best now, and I think we can all agree on that. But this movie doesn't have as much going for it as I hoped, and that's
I hate seeing just the childlike wonder leave both of your
Yeah.
eyes. As much as I agree with the what you're about to say, Bran, it sucks to have to watch you guys do this. You could have never watched it again and lived in a world where it was wonderful, and so I'm sorry for you.
well, that's okay.
No, it's okay.
I still have fun. I still loved it.
I still
But
love
I'm
it.
trying
I think
to-
I might like Camp Rock 2 more.
I'm trying to be the same amount of
I think you
critical
might
of
hate Camp
this.
Rock 2 a little less.
I'm trying to be the same amount of
it
critical
longer?
for Camp Rock as I am for Brink and give it the
Oh my
same
God.
shake. And so,
oh my God,
as an honest reviewer and
hilarious!
honest,
You can't even say it with a straight
as an
face.
honest reviewer and film critic, I
Oh my
have to be honest about this. Dano?
Yeah. So sometimes it's nice to be the guy that hasn't seen any of these movies and I don't bring any baggage of
Same length. Sorry.
of how like I felt about this as a kid and how it reminds me of something specific from my childhood. And so you find some fun sleepers like Full Court Miracle or Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, movies that I think surprised
Man.
all of us.
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Who saw it coming?
No kidding.
It's still in my top 10.
Other times,
Okay.
it's still in my top 10. Other times, it's unfortunate that I don't have the glowing nostalgia that you guys have because I have to be the one to tell you that this movie unequivocally sucks. It is not a good DCOM. It is not an average DCOM. It is a bad DCOM for a host of reasons. The best thing I can say about this movie is it greatly increased my appreciation for the first High School Musical, which what that movie did was so good that we got a movie this shitty. Something is transcendent and transformative when there are 800 knockoffs that all suck. After The Sixth Sense, there was a movie released every month with a twist ending. They all were an embarrassment. Guys, Camp Rock is an embarrassment. Demi Lovato sucks. Joe Jonas sucks. The music sucks. Hasta La Vista, catchy number. The song at the end that sounds like a Michelle Branch song, catchy number. Before then, it is a tapestry, a tap dance of this sucks. That's what this movie is. It is awful. I just can't tell you how bad what we watched was. And I hate it because I know it's memorable and I'm sure you guys loved it when you were younger. But this was an absolute slog, and I want no part of it. Absolutely not. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's time for us to make our list.
It's going to be top 10 for me.
See where Camp Rock lands. I'll start with you, Aaron. What are you thinking about Camp Rock? Where are you putting it?
Yeah, I mean, I think in my head, Camp Rock was always very close to how iconic High School Musical felt for me. And then in really just thinking about it, no, it's not. It's a name.
It wouldn't
that
exist
gets-
without High School
No.
Musical.
It's a name.
It doesn't have the Irvine
that-
bump. What is it? The Ortega bump.
It's a DCOM name that you hear.
Yeah. But they
It's-
didn't
it-
do the
it-
work. They didn't
yeah.
do the work.
It's like rough because the Jonas Brothers had a record released and they were good, and Disney was trying to market them in like a reverse Hannah Montana way, where it's like Hannah Montana started as a show and then the
then-
music career
yeah.
took off, and it just became this like full circle
Yeah.
money joint for Disney. So they were trying to integrate Jonas in, but they were all mostly too old and they have said this, like after this movie, they get a TV show and they were like, we shouldn't have been on the cheat. Like we were all in our 20s. Like we should not have been on there. Demi had been, she had like Mike Superstar show. There was, what was it? As the Bell Rings. It was like a little show that was like, because Disney doesn't really do commercials. They do like their interstitials. So it would be this show that was like 3 to 5 minutes long that would play in between
during the breaks.
And so that was, Demi was on that. And then they were like, she's great. Like we should give her a vehicle. So this was a movie where it was like, it didn't have the star power that some of the other ones have, or like where they were big on Disney Channel and then we got a movie. Like they were just kind of throwing these almost unknowns in there. And you knew the Jonas Brothers at that point because they, you know, it was kind of like, all right, they're going to be in a Disney Channel movie. I guess that's cool. I was just about to turn 18 when this came out, so I wasn't on the Jonas Brothers train until 2019. When Happiness Begins comes out, like I was on board for that. But I was too old. I was like, they were marketed as a boy band, and I was like, excuse me, a boy band is NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. It's not the Jonas Brothers. They don't do any dancing. How dare you? And so I loved it. I think I liked this movie because it took place at camp, and camp was a very big part of my life. I spent every summer growing up at camp.
Food's good. It's the best food I've ever had.
It wasn't always. In the last few years, like
it's the best food
as
I've
a
ever
kid,
had.
it was just like mac and cheese, burgers. It was very
it's
whatever.
The best food I've ever had.
In the last few years, they've really tried to elevate, and I love it. I stand by it. And I do miss the free food that I would get when I worked there.
It was free. There it is. Now we got it.
Anyway,
it's good. It's good.
But yeah, camp was a huge part of me. So I loved that there was this movie setting like at camp. We got to sing and dance and all this stuff. But it's not a musical. And I kind of wish it had just been a musical at camp where I would just could run around the grounds singing my feelings and not trying to put on a performance. So anyway, all that to say, this movie is great and it is iconic, but it is gonna, I guess it is still really high. It's coming in at 16 for me.
Holy hell.
But it's just past Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
Like ahead of it?
No, it's after. I refuse to put it before Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
Yeah.
That's where I put it.
That was where you drew the line.
It may bump down, but when I was just kind of putting it on the list, it was more of like a looking for the definitive line. And the definitive line was like, this is not going to go above Mom's Got a Date. The music does always give a movie a bump for me because I love something that I can listen to in the car or something. I don't know. It's just ahead of like Johnny Capahala and Read It and Weep. I don't know. I did bump Cheetah Girls 2 down a little bit more. I don't know. I've done some playing around with my list, but top 10 hasn't changed. Camp Rock. This is like, remember when Cheetah Girls premiered in my top 10 and now it's like far down. I think this is a Camp Rock thing. Like it's not going to stay at 16.
I get the feeling it's going to be, yeah.
But for right now, my 17-year-old heart says...
Yeah, you're sticking up for 17-year-old Aaron. We get it.
It says 16.
Camp Food's the best.
And then we're going to watch like 2 more movies and I'll be like, you know what?
Maybe not.
We'll watch Camp Rock 2 and I'll be like, wait a minute. But top 10 has not changed. 10, Halloween Town. 9, Get a Clue. 8, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. 7, Phantom of the Megaplex. 6, Smart House. 5, Johnny Tsunami. 4, Right on Track. 3, Cadet Kelly. 2, High School Musical. And number 1, Motocross.
I got Camp Rock premiering at 20 on my list. It is in between Pixel Perfect and Cheetah Girls 2. So that's where it's at.
All right.
Probably going to stay around there. I still really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a slog.
Oh, such a slog.
Not a slog. There's just
not a slog.
My rating will definitely change once we see Camp Rock 2 in a couple weeks.
My top 10 has not changed. Full Court Miracle at 10, Smart House at 9, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off at 8, Cadet Kelly at 7, Get a Clue at 6, High School Musical at 5, Motocross at 4, Johnny Tsunami at number 3, High School Musical 2 at 2, and the greatest movie of our time and any time, Brink at number 1.
I still don't. The more we get into this, I just don't understand how Brink is. Like, listen, Brink is so
He's just
iconic.
doing it now because it's a thing.
No, don't tell me what I'm doing.
No, that's what you're doing.
That's
it's
your
so
theory of
evident.
what I'm doing,
It's not
but
my theory. It's so evident that you've just decided it can't be beat. It shouldn't even be in the top 10.
That's what all of you guys are doing with motocross. Same exact thing.
No, it isn't. I have no nostalgic ties to motocross whatsoever.
All right. Well, if you're going to slander my name, I'm going to slander yours.
Okay. I mean, you can do that.
Six and a half dozens for others.
That's right. This Camp Rock here made the top 20 of both of my co-hosts. It makes my bottom 20.
In the 20.
It comes in at 53. Is that worse than 3 Halloween Town movies? Yeah. Oh. Is it worse than both Cheetah Girls? You bet. Is it worse than Sweet Lou and Alley Cat Strike? Sure is. It sure is. Is it worse than, and this one's tough, Life is Rough? Yeah, it's worse than Life is Rough. My line for this movie was the bottom 19, I think, are bar none some of the worst movies I've ever seen, and that starts with Can of Worms. This movie is ahead of Can of Worms. It is at 53. I do have a change in my top 10, though, as this movie sucks so hard for anyone that wasn't a teenager when they watched it in the summer where everything was perfect for them. But for me, it just made me realize how incredibly impressive and important High School Musical is.
Wow.
And High School Musical has moved into my top 10. It was not in my top 10. It has now moved up into my top 10. High School Musical 10, Full Court Miracle 9, Scream Team 8, Get a Clue 7, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off 6, Phantom of the Megaplex 5, Johnny Tsunami 4, Mom's Got a Date 3, Cadet Kelly 2, number 1 Motocross.
There we
Brink?
go.
Done and done. So what?
Not Brink?
Not Brink.
That's weird.
Brink's on your bottom 20, though. Right?
No, Brink is at 12. Like, it's at 12.
There you go.
I don't know. In all honesty, Brink, Miracle in Lane 2, Quince, Minutemen, Smart House, kind of all in that grouping there. I could have those in any order.
It's a pretty good grouping.
Yeah, that's 12 to 16.
It's a good grouping.
My top 16, I think, are definitely better than the rest of them. Like, I think after that, it drops off pretty hard. But those 16 movies.
I think we've all mentioned Cheetah Girls today.
Yep.
When talking about this movie.
bet.
And
It's because we're watching that next
because we're
week.
watching Cheetah Girls 3 next week. Come on back for that. It's going to be a lot
Girls,
of fun.
One World.
One World. Third movie.
One World, one less Raven.
Cheetah. One less cheetah.
That's no Raven.
So come on back for that. Until then, keep
Decom.
Coming up all day.
for a while at least.
Decom Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray. And yeah, that Greenville, South Carolina at the Bramble Jam Podcast Network studios. Follow us on the socials at Decom Descendants. Follow us on the web, decompodcast.com. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcast. And to watch us watch these movies live, you can go to takethetape.com and to get these episodes. Do we do these? No, we don't. I'm just making stuff up now. I'm just going to keep talking. We'll fade it on out. It's all right. This repeats in a second. Decom Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast.